This is Larry with ManCave Mayhem. Today we are working on the 2024 Ford F150. There's a really ugly guy that's leaning on my truck right now that kind of bothers me, but that's okay. I don't mind that. Why are you, hey, what's your problem? Why are you having an attitude?
It's hot.
It's very hot, but we're working on this truck today. I bought some Mollie panels from China. So we are gonna go ahead and install these. They are SZYANG panels. And actually, when I opened the box up, I was kind of pleasantly surprised. Got some little tie downs with them. Now these panels compared to like the other like American made panels, not that I'm bashing the American made panels, but man, I don't have $500 to do the back of my truck. And this isn't going to be an overlanding rig, so I'm not too worried. Like the Petco panels are super expensive. I guess they're super nice. The difference between them and these are the Petco panels, the bracket's built into them, and so it makes them a little sturdier. From what I understand, the hardware on these is a little weak, and we're gonna find out because we're gonna put these in and see what they look like. But overall impressions are pretty heavy, aren't they? I mean, they're pretty. What do you think? Heavy duty. I mean, they're...
Can't even bend them.
No, can't even bend them at all.
And I'm strong.
And he's fairly strong. I mean, if you compare these to like a woman, a non-bodybuilder woman.
For an Olympian.
These are the two that go up there. I don't know if I have the brake on this. Here's the bad part. This hardware, I think, is the weak point of the whole setup. You get these bolts and these plastic
Are you showing them the bolts?
sleeves that go over it. And that's actually how this attaches to the existing. So instead of having a bracket that comes down on this, you're depending on these little cheesy bolts to hold that in place. Now, whether that'll work or not, I don't know. We're going to find out. But for $150 compared to $500, it makes a difference. And I'm willing to take the gamble. If they break, they're Amazon, they can get sent back. So we're going to go ahead and start getting this installed, and we'll show you the first step in the process. Basically, it's going to be unbolting. What do they call these things?
Tie downs?
Tie down blocks. They call them something super Wazoo Ford blocks or whatever. We're going to
bracket.
Tie down bracket Wazoo Ford brackets. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications and check us out at Instagram at ManCave_Mayhem. Now let's get on with the video. Need a ratchet, an extension, and a T30 Torx bit. And we're going to go ahead and pull these off right now. And then we're going to replace these bolts with the bolts that have been provided. All right, so we used, what is this?
530 seconds.
530 seconds Allen bit to get this on. And it's actually, I haven't tightened this down yet, but it's clearing all around the sides, and it fits pretty nice, actually. I mean, it feels solid, feels like it's going to be stable. What do you think, Andrew?
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and tighten it down. Once we get it tightened down, I'll tell you a little bit more and see what I think. I mean, seriously, yank on that thing a little bit. It's pretty solid, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think... For what we're going to be using it for, I don't think we need anything more crazy than that. The only concern I would have is the tie-down cleats. If you're tying something down super crazy, I've heard complaints about this hardware. Like I said, these are plastic sleeves with these bolts. Who knows what grade of material these are. Of course, you're screwing into aluminum anyhow, but anyhow. So that's kind of what we're looking at right there. I'll go ahead and start putting these other ones on. I'll let you know how, if we run into any difficulties with this other. This is going to be a little more involved, but nothing crazy. But let's move on to the other side. I'll do the other side, and then we'll start on that, on the backs. So you want to just get this kind of loosely on here and drop everything while you're at it. Kind of want to feed it through. And then line it up with the back. Get all of them loosely fitted first before you start tightening anything down. Make sure they all thread in. This last one in, and then we'll start on the backs. You don't want to go too crazy on this when you tighten it up. Just go real careful with it so you don't get too crazy tight on it. And then just snug it up. I think in the long run you are sacrificing some strength with these, but if you're not using them for crazy amounts of weight or anything, I think these will be perfectly fine. And they could probably even be modified. Talk about modifying these and maybe making a bracket for them. But you know, I don't know that we're even going to need to do that, because what I'm using them for is going to be pretty lightweight stuff. I have a box on this side which is not going to be accessible with this panel on. I don't know that I'm going to use the box, so right now I'm not going to make the decision on that. I'm just going to put this panel on. If I decide later I want to mess with that box, then I will cut that panel and paint the area that's been cut and put it back on. But until then, we're going to leave it as is, and we're going to move to this side first. This is the side that actually has the open hole for the power inverter, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Won't be reusing these, so put them in a bag somewhere where if you decide to get rid of these panels, you can save them and you have them for your tie downs. Right here, we want to unbolt these rear tie down hooks too, so that's what we're going to do now. We're going to be reusing these bolts on this, so we're going to get this disconnected and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, we're going to get these started again. Andrew's going to hold them. This part right here looks like it could make some contact. They do provide you with a little adhesive stuff to keep that from rubbing. We'll see how it looks once we get it cranked down. Now we want to kind of loosely fit this hook back on with the original bolts, and that's what we're going to do next. Then we'll slowly tighten everything down. Goes on right over that. And I'm going to put the other bolt in. Doing this while holding the camera, so bear with me. Let's throw that in there. Now that we got these loosely fit, we're going to start snugging everything. Sun glaring kind of on this, but now you can kind of see how this is put on. It's solid. And on my personal vehicle here, I'm not getting any rubbing. I might later put some rubber grommets behind this just so it will keep this solid, but you can kind of see the gap there. I guess it could rattle if you got down a dirt road. So that's probably what I'm going to do, is get some rubber buttons and put behind that just to keep it from banging against this, especially down here. It makes some contact. So, but I'm not going to use the provided strip that they have because it looks cheesy, and it is cheesy. So I'm not going to do it. So now we'll move on to this next side. Again, this has a little storage cubby that they didn't account for. I will probably end up taking this off again and doing some cutting, but that's not for this video. Designed for various applications because you got an opening here, and you know, this is not open for this box. So like I said, we're going to put it on. I don't usually use those boxes, so I think I'll be fine without it, but we'll see how. This kit, they provide you with a few little Velcro tie down straps, which I think they gave you, and they give you this roll of Velcro too. Kind of interesting. The Velcro tape. Overall, for the price, it's a pretty dang good kit. These are some hokey tie downs too, but you know, whether you use them or not, that's up to you. I probably won't be using them. I'll need some other things, brackets and stuff, but it's got plenty of holes. Looks like you could probably hook up a RotoPax to this side or this side here with all the holes. So it's actually a really, really good setup. Like I said, I'm not doing a ton of overlanding. I might do some light camping, but I just don't want stuff sliding around the back of the bed. All right, now that I'm back home and I'm looking at this thing, I think what I really want to do is mount my gas can. I've got a RotoPax. It's a 1.5 gallon can, and what we use that for is we carry a generator with us a lot of times when we're camping, and I just didn't want to have a gas can floating around in the back. So I'm going to end up pulling this panel off. I've taken the cleat off of this because I've decided this is where I'm going to put my RotoPax. I don't think I'm going to be using this box, so I'm not too worried about that. So I've got it marked out. This is the base to the RotoPax. I don't have the top on yet, but I'll show you what I'm going to do, and we'll get this mounted and I'll kind of show you how that works. But actually, I'm pretty impressed with these these Mollie panels, they're not too bad for what you pay. And I'm not knocking Petco or whatever the other companies are that do these, but these are decent. You know, for what I'm using it for, they should be good. You know, we'll see how it goes as we go along. But anyhow, I'll get that started and I'll show you what I'm doing. There's these bolts are the bolts that hold this on the back side here, and so I'll probably put a lock washer on them or something. But they're also just a little too big for these holes right here, just a little bit. So I'm going to probably have to remount one of the holes. They fit in the slots. These slots they slide right into. So I'm going to see how they mount up. I'm going to pull this panel off and try and get that bracket mounted, and I'll show you how that looks and how it mounts up. So this is how we got it mounted. Like I said, I'm not going to be using this box, so I've got my RotoPax here. That'll go right there. Now, we use this for camping quite a bit, and like I said, we carry a generator with us, so this will be the fuel, the extra fuel for the generator. Makes it kind of nice so it's not banging around in the back. I don't have to worry about anybody stealing it. Last time I was always worried about somebody taking my RotoPax out of the back of my truck. So I'll also have a tonneau cover on it, but we're going to lock this baby down, so that's what we'll do now. Solid, secure. I really like these racks. Overall, for my uses, I think they're going to be good racks. Do I think they're better than Petco or the other brands that are American made? Of course not. I don't think they're better, but they're certainly a lot less expensive. And for my needs, that'll do for now. The only weak points I can see on these racks, which makes the Petco racks and everything better, is they actually have a bracket that comes down behind this or in front of this. These just have like a plastic sleeve that go over the hardware. So that could be a weak point. I don't know. Time will tell. But right now, they look pretty solid. I think they're going to be functional, and they'll do what I need them to do. If you haven't yet, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Check us out at Instagram at ManCave_Mayhem. And just remember, folks, I'm just a man in a cave causing mayhem. Thanks again for watching. Andrew.
Well, don't look at me.
I won't look at you. We're just men.
You're a man in my man cave
Causing mayhem. That's going to do it, folks. We'll see you in the next video.